on, people? I'm Isaac Carlson, and after being graced with a new Pixar movie on Disney Plus this Christmas, which I thought was absolutely stunning, beautiful, and thought-provoking, today I want to discuss the meaningful ending of Soul. Now, of course, at the very, very end of the film, past all of the credits and logos, we saw Terry pop out and give us all a good speaking to, which I guess shows that those quantized fields of the universe also have the ability to break the fourth wall.
Hi! Movie's over! Go home!
But beyond that moment, there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the fates of the main characters. You see, after a journey that led the band teacher Joe Gardner to meet a soul who had no desire to live, 22, they both are shown to go their separate ways after they individually discover a new way to look at their lives. For the longest time, Joe had become convinced that going to play music on stage would be the key to solving all of his problems and would lead to him creating a fulfilling life for himself. He was sure that becoming a successful musician was the only way to create meaning in his life. But after dying, letting his soul loose in the great before, and seeing 22 experience the world, this changed his point of view.
Maybe skywatching can be my spark, or walking. I'm really good at walking.
After 22 had the chance to start taking in the earth in Joe's body, her desire to live had come to fruition because she had finally been immersed into what life could truly be. We aren't sure exactly when the moment her spark came to be. I mean, the moment she ate pizza could have been enough to get her to want to come to Earth, in my opinion, but it seemed through every experience she had and all the people she met was what led her to see the magic in being alive. Especially when she held the helicopter seed in her hand. She saw that she had to realize the opportunity she had in front of her.
That last box fills in when you're ready to come live. And the thing is, you're pretty great at jazzing.
And the truth is that there didn't need to be one moment specifically where she was certain she wanted to live like so many other souls, because that shows that every instance we are alive, we can find hope and joy. Although it wouldn't be until after she fought off her own insecurities about her being undeserving of life was she finally able to make the jump into a new life. Now, when Joe and 22 were forced to deal with a manifestation of her lost soul, it quickly reminded me of the giant virus that grew out of Ralph's insecurities in Ralph Breaks the Internet. But personally, I think Soul did a much better job at handling this kind of scenario, since Soul continued to focus much more on the characters resolving their issues instead of primarily focusing on the physical threat itself. Soul did a fantastic job of continuing to come back to the relationship between Joe and 22, which I felt continued to ground the film in reality even when they were in a hypothetical way station between life and death. But where did 22 go when she fell to Earth, and what might she become? Well, from the way that we saw Joe and 22 jump into living bodies when they were directly above them, I think it's safe to assume that where 22 was heading, where she fell, is where she would be born. And knowing that, she doesn't seem to be falling to New York City. 22 appeared to have fallen to Asia, and knowing that completely altered my perception of what the future would hold for 22 and Joe. At first, I thought it would be fascinating if Joe and 22 would be able to meet somehow again on Earth. But as soon as I saw her going to a completely different side of the world, that thought quickly went away from my mind as it became extremely clear that 22's body and mind would be completely unrecognizable to Joe. We were explicitly told by the Jerrys that all souls lose their memories when they begin their lives, and from 22 herself, she explained that her appearance and voice were only hypothetical constructs that she influenced in the youth seminar.
This is all an illusion.
Huh?
This whole place is a hypothetical.
I could sound like this if I wanted to.
Or sound like this instead.
And all of that means that on Earth, 22 could surely become anything. Sure, 22 will likely grow to become snarky, bullheaded, goofy, and a bit insecure at times, but beyond those personality traits, 22's life is completely left open. 22 could be any race or gender and might become a billionaire philanthropist or a poor farmer or a hip-hop dancer. She was pretty good at doing that, but we don't really know for sure either way. We truly have no way of knowing, which is a similar position that Joe is in. When Joe is given another opportunity to live by the Jerrys, which I was kind of surprised by, I totally thought he was going to go to the great beyond, he recognizes that he has no clue what he's going to do next with his life. And of course, that's completely fine. After 22 showed him how much beauty he had experienced in his life, he had come to the realization that he wasn't assigned a purpose and didn't necessarily need to choose one for himself.
A spark isn't a soul's purpose. Your purpose is your meanings of life. So basic.
Joe came to see that his life didn't have to be defined by what he did, what he accomplished, or the accolades he took on, which definitely resonated with me. When I was in 3rd grade, I was quite the perfectionist who literally cried at the thought of potentially underachieving at assignments in school. And today, there are moments where I get driven wild by my own insecurities about what videos I should make. Sometimes I feel crippled by the realization that the videos I make get less views compared to other people, which kind of sounds petty, but it's just the reality of being involved in this as a business, as a source of my livelihood. And it's something that I tie a lot of my self-worth with. At times when people aren't watching my videos, it feels like people don't like what I make or who I am. I love what I do and appreciate all of you fun people who support me, but I've hated making myself get stressed or feeling like what I do doesn't matter, even though I know it does, at least for me. Everything we all do matters, and that's what Joe came to understand, which leaves his future wide open to build. Maybe with this new perspective, he'll find new meaning spreading his love of jazz into the next generations of students, which might lead him to take that full-time job as a band teacher. Or maybe he will abandon that and just continue to enjoy doing gigs with Dorothea Williams and achieve his dream of performing on stage. Or maybe he'll do a combination of those two things, but also slow down once in a while as he spends more time with family and calls that Lisa girl that 22 brought up.
Telling you, Joe, you really should call Lisa again.
I don't really have time for a relationship right now, 22.
Oh, busy right now? Want to wait till you die a second time?
I mean, who knows? Maybe Joe Gardner will be on his way to start a family of his own soon, but we can't be for certain what might become of Joe or 22's lives, which is definitely intended. One idea I've heard a lot recently is that it's important to enjoy the process of what you do instead of looking towards the destination. You can't just go after titles or awards if you hate the journey to get there, which is exactly what I need to remember with YouTube and my life in general. It's okay for us to be involved with things that are difficult and uncomfortable, but we have to remember that what we need to do is at least love what we do every moment we do it. And that's exactly what 22 and Joe eventually see, and what Dorothea Williams was trying to preach. Her story about the fish was supposed to show that if we don't take the time to appreciate the majesty all around us, then sometimes we will fail to see that what we are looking for is right in front of us.
This, says the young fish, this is water. What I want is the ocean.
The duo learned through their time together that they must see the good in their lives and to have wonder and curiosity through every action regardless of the circumstances that surround them. Just like Des, you don't have to get a dream job or accomplish exactly what you envisioned as a child to become happy.
You're stuck as a barber and now you're unhappy.
Whoa, slow your roll there, Joe. I'm happy as a clam, my man. Not everyone can be Charles Drew inventing blood transfusion.
Regardless of what troubles and bumps occur along the way, it's finding happiness in the experiences that is important. And I'm so glad that a Pixar movie acknowledged that type of universal message in such an imaginative, beautiful, and effective film. My brother Adam even said it's possible that this is his favorite Disney film now, and for me, it's definitely the greatest feature I've seen out of Pixar since Coco. It's an animated film that really stuck with me, and that I'm glad got to be made. I mean, for me, besides The Mandalorian, Klaus, which I just recently saw, and Tangled the series, this is easily one of my favorite cinematic experiences of 2020. And I'm happy to envision that the characters we got to meet still have long adventures ahead of them. Sure, we don't know exactly what will be accomplished in 22 and Joe's lives now that they have both been returned to Earth in their own bodies, but we do know how they will navigate the world. By going on their wild journey through multiple dimensions, we got to see these two learn that even though every part of life will not be perfect, it's a journey that's worth going on. Fun people, what did you think of Soul, and what parts of the movie do you want discussed in the future, like Easter eggs or plot holes or lore? To see all of those discussions, make sure to subscribe and click the beautiful bell if you're new. And finally, thank you to my patrons, thanks for watching, and have a magical day.